Welcome to episode number 240. The title of today's episode is How Can We Help Each Other More? We've got an amazing group here. There's so many incredible people. How can we help each other more? And for those of you that are watching, take advantage of the amazing people that are here in this group because you don't know who they know. You could be one person away from knowing growing your business the way you want to grow it. So, pay attention to what these fantastic people have to say. They share gold right from their hearts. So what I'd like to do is have each person introduce themselves, give a brief overview of what they do, and to put their contact information in the chat. That's very important. So put your contact information in the chat so people can reach out to you. And for those of you that are part of this group that haven't connected with everybody, I strongly recommend that you do. So without further ado, we'll get started. We'll start with Tina, followed by Mark.
Oh, we get to start with me. That's a crazy little event to start off with. So, if we don't know me, I'm obviously Tina Huggins. I am your high conflict divorce coach specialist. And what I'm doing is working right now, I'm working on my podcast. We're setting it up for January to start kicking off a really intense year of talking about abuse. We want to get the message out for those people who are in abuse to know they're in abuse. And I know for some of you that sounds like it's crazy. How could somebody inside abuse getting broken bones not know that they're in abuse? Well, I was one of those and had no idea I was being abused. So we are like a lobster. They throw us in the cool water and heat it up slowly, and we never see it happening. So for the next year, we're going to work on the show for awakening. My job is to help you keep your stress levels down, make better decisions in your divorce so that you can come out the other end in peace and harmony. This is all done by saving you thousands of dollars because we do a lot of the work, so you don't have to pay your attorney to do that for you. So thank you, John, and we'll let you have it from there.
Thanks, Tina. By the way, Tina does an amazing job of helping lower the stress levels because if anybody's been in the forced or unforced part of going through a divorce, stress can be very high. Thanks, Tina. Mark, followed by George.
How do I follow that? I'm Mark Amell, and we've recently built a platform with Tina's help called localbusinessrising.com. And the sole purpose is to help small and local businesses survive, to grow, but grow in a structured way so that they're not spending a lot of money and going down all the rabbit holes that I had to build this platform. So when somebody gets a lead, we help them take it to the next step. A lot of people don't even understand what's slowing them down in growing their business. So we've built a great team of people and tools to help them walk through that. So it encourages them to spend 2 to 3 hours a week on their business so they can enjoy what they do the rest of the week. So my biggest challenge is letting other people know about it before they go out of business. And thank you for having me in this group. It's been a great group of people.
You're welcome, Mark. Just to elaborate a little more, Mark has started a fantastic group that's right now just in North America, but soon to become all over the world. So if you're looking for a group that can really help you network, connect with Mark and Tina. They can really help you out there. George, followed by Kavi.
All right. Hi, my name is George Noggle, and I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I help business owners uncover what's blocking them so revenue becomes consistent. Seems to me that I'm much better at helping other people than I am myself, but the message is coming along. So basically, we have personal blocks, we have business blocks, and it's my job to help my clients see what those are so that they can move forward with consistency and clarity.
Thanks, George. So many people, they they know where they're in their own way, but they don't know how to get out of it. So appreciate your helping people do it that way. Kavi?
Thank you, John, and welcome everyone. Um, Name is Kavi, and my friend in the background is Chewy. I am an American expat calling from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. What I do is that I hang out with many conscious-minded coaches. They are growing their personal brand on social media till the algorithm suspends their account. It's not a fun experience. And what I really do is I help them build an email asset that bulletproofs their business so they don't get suspended again. And how I do that is I help them build a email list of warm leads so they have consistent communication with their audience that they own and attract more of their ideal clients to their signature offer. Thank you.
That's great, Avi or Chavi, helping people create that list, because we all know the list is where it is. You could get cut off Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, and you lose all those names. But if you have your own list, you got it made. Yvonne, followed by Alan.
Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Yvonne A Jones. I'm located in Jamaica at the moment. I'm your relationship building strategist and personal business coach. And what I do is I help purpose-driven professionals, particularly mature entrepreneurs and small business owners. I help them turn their expertise into thriving online business, bringing heart back into business, one authentic connection at a time. I'm also the creator of the Purposeful and Profitable podcast. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, John, for chairing, Peter, for creating the space, and wonderful to be with all of you today.
Thanks,
Oh,
Yvonne.
I'm sorry, John. Peter's waiting for this. And my mantra is simply focus on relationships and the money will follow.
Thanks, Yvonne. I just want to mention that, Yvonne, are you still doing your podcast? Because if she does, they are an amazing podcast to be on. So get yourself on there and you can really do well.
Thank you,
Thank
you, John.
Hi,
Alan,
John.
followed by Vangelis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alan from Hampshire in the UK, and we take unused or underused commercial buildings and we convert them into residential homes, sometimes for disabled or vulnerable people. So we help to solve the housing crisis in the UK, and we provide long-term accommodation for needy people in the community. We provide great returns to investors. So if you would like to talk to us, I've left my contact details in the chat. Thanks, John. Cheers.
You're welcome, Alan. What a great way to help out making unused businesses into homes for, help people out, because, hey, homes and apartments are getting to be a valuable commodity.
Yes,
so thanks, Alan.
absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Vangelis, followed by Gab.
Hello, Vangelis. Currently, I'm in Costa Rica. I work with companies that are wanting to integrate artificial intelligence into their organization, and I help them demystify, uncover the mystery behind it, and maybe look at what they think is something that could be feared and realize that AI is just another tool that people can use to help them become more efficient and more effective. So helping people to integrate it into their business as well as their lives. Thanks.
Oh, you brought up a great point there, Vangelis. AI is a tool. So many people are scared of it and they don't understand it. When you use it as a tool, it's a great way to grow your business, but don't make it your be all end all. It's there to help you, not replace you. Thanks, Vangelis. Gab? Are you there, Gab, or are you sleeping?
I'm here. Give me 1 second. So sorry about that. So I had to run an errand really quick. Sorry about that. But I'm the founder of Ellable. I do digital design psychology, so I blend psychology with design. I also do a little bit of autism and ADHD advocacy, and I help people love themselves and see themselves whole and complete. A portion of every single purchase that people make through Ellable contribute to basically kids across the world loving themselves and knowing who they are. I also have a nonprofit that I've established. It's called Endyverse, and basically, I can help people grow their business and make more money through the power of digital design psychology and social media. So, yeah.
Thanks, Gab. You're doing a great job. Mary, you're just in time.
Hey, sorry I've been MIA. I've been sick the past couple months. So what I do is I teach families how to understand what neurodiversity and autism is, and I've kind of switched roles instead of being a personal coach to teaching professionals what autism and neurodiversity is and how to help kids. On the flip side, I also work with veterans and people that have been through a lot of trauma and how to overcome that and transition into the civilian world. And really, what I'm here for today is to talk about with the US government shutdown, possibly reopening, but if it does reopen, where's the services coming from? So we've created a fundraiser in coalition with United Way and a few other organizations to raise money specifically for families with special needs and veterans to be able to pay their bills, to be able to get Christmas presents, to get mental health services that are not covered by insurance. The link will be in the chat sometime during the show.
Thanks, Mary. Really appreciate it. Mary and Gab do an incredible job working with people with special needs. So if you know somebody that has autistic kids or, dealing with people with special needs, reach out to these two beautiful ladies. They can really help you. So before we get started on our call today, or we open it up to get people's views on how we can help each other more. Got some apologies from some of our regulars here. Mark Inkster, Christine Best, Donna Burton, Dr. Chris Williams, Daniel Cabariner. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Anyway, call him Daniel. For whatever reason, these people can't be here today. They usually are. They're great people to help support. So what I'd like to do now is open the floor, get people's opinions on how we can help each other more. Whoever raises their hand goes first. Otherwise, I get to pick. Alan, go ahead.
Thanks, John. I think we can help one another more by getting to know our respective businesses more so that we can see where we can contribute to, that particular person's specialism. Something that is happening this coming weekend is that we've got an event called Transform going on in the UK. It's at the Brooklands Hotel, Weybridge in Surrey, which is in the south of England. And Vangelis is speaking on that event, as is Dr. Annika Sorensen. So I'm looking forward to meeting in person as opposed to meeting virtually online. So I think there will be quite a few people online at that event from around the world, but it's particularly notable because there are a lot of high quality speakers from different specialisms at that event, and it may be that in the future, at future events like this Transform On, it may be that there are people who are on this call who'd be interested to speak at future events. So what I suppose I'm saying is that we can collaborate at events which can then generate more interest from bigger audiences, or we can collaborate individually, like you were suggesting, getting on one another's podcast and communicating with one another that way. But I certainly concur that we should do as much as we can to try and help one another in this amazing group.
Thanks, Alan. And you brought up a really good point. You know, there's a lot of amazing people here in this group that
Yes.
could put together quite a wide variety of topics
Yes,
that could
absolutely.
really help people. So thanks for putting that together and sharing it. Make sure you put that in the contact information.
I'll do that. Thanks, John.
Great. Yvonne, followed by Mary.
Thank you, John. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify one thing because I have had more than one podcast in the, what is it? It's 17 years I'm online now. And I've had you as a guest, John, Peter. And I don't see anybody else who is here right now who has been a guest on my podcast. But the one I'm doing, I decided to simplify because I used to make my life very complex. And I've decided to simplify. And so this particular one, occasionally I'll have a guest, but it's not something that I'm doing, having guests regularly because it's a lot more work, a lot more organization, and a lot more to do after. So I just wanted to mention that. But occasionally, if it's someone who does something that's related to what I talk about on my podcast, I'll be happy to have like one guest per month on my podcast. So I just wanted to say that. I also thought, I think Kavi made a great point about, excuse me, about we can lose how important email marketing is because we can lose our social media platforms. That's rented land. It's like putting your beautiful, gorgeous 6-bedroom house on leased land where the owner can come back and say, oh, I need my land. And I experienced that earlier this year when my Facebook account was hacked. And in 2 days, I was in it on one day, didn't go the other day. The next day I saw a sign that my Facebook account was disabled because I had breached community guidelines. So I lost 17 years of content because I started on Facebook in 2008. And I think of all the pictures where I used to attend events, they're all gone. And they used to be just stored there or people would tag me. Anyway, so email is valuable. So I spend most of my time now on LinkedIn. And what I thought about when I saw the topic is that several of you are on LinkedIn. And we don't want to do those pods anymore. LinkedIn does not like pods where, you're in a group and somebody does a post and then we all go one after the other and start. LinkedIn frowns on that now, the new LinkedIn algorithm. And so I think it would be, for me, one of the things that I can do, I do this occasionally, but not as often. I can make it intentional, where I look out for people in this group to see what I may have to go to their post, so they will go to their profile, they will see where it says that Yvonne visited the profile, and look to see what they post, because on the profile you'll see what the person posted and when, and then make a note of that so that I can comment on something or share something. And that way, you still rise in the algorithm without our being a part of a pod. So I thought that was one way that I personally can support the members in this community.
Thanks, Yvonne. You brought up a really important point. To talk about something that shows up in a person's post, that shows that you took the time to read it and think about it. So that shows the person that you're thinking about them and what they had to say. Thank you for that. Mary?
You're welcome.
A couple different ways that we can help each other out is one, when you don't see them around or posting, being active where they used to be, reaching out to them personally and making sure they're okay. A lot of times we get overwhelmed with everything and we just shut down and disappear for a while and reset. And so, having people reach out to you helps you feel like you're not lost. Another way is to just support them. When there's people that you meet that would be a good fit for them, reach out and connect with each other together. When you see some of the things, like you're in a marketing profession, you see someone creating posts over and over again that look like a novel, reaching out and just explaining to them how you can tweak what you're doing a little bit better to make it stand out more. Tips and guides in your each professions to help the next person understand how what they can do differently to make it better. You never know where that person's going to end up down the road. When I started working with you guys or meeting you guys 5 years ago, I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for all the help you guys gave me, from how to do this, just talking on a camera, to creating my messaging, to just being me and not worried about scripts and elevator pitches and things like that. I never saw where I'm going, where I was then to where I am now. Just being able to talk generally is huge, and helping people feel better about, doing that.
Oh, you brought up a very valid point, Mary. I was kind of chuckling to myself, but you brought it up. When you first started coming on these calls, you were really shy and you didn't know what to say. So for anybody watching this podcast and you're thinking, oh, I'm shy, I can't talk in front of a camera, you don't become an amazing speaker overnight. You're going to screw it up when you first start. I'm a prime example of that. I could share stories of how I royally screwed it up. But, Mary is a great deal. She's really advanced and grown far. So take what she says, and use it. You can help other people grow and change. Thanks, Mary. Brenda?
Hi. Um, there's a few things. I love what everybody is saying. Um, to be honest, I have never been a total fan of those pods. When they were first created, I was not a big fan of them because of the fact that there was an expectation that you would comment on every single person's post. And my challenge was, what if somebody posts something that you just fundamentally don't agree with? Then you've got to try and find, if they're part of your pod, you've got to try and find some way to say something diplomatically that's supportive and nice and kind, even though you're feeling like, oh no, but yuck, I don't agree with that. So I'm kind of glad that LinkedIn is sort of coming down on the pods. I'm kind of glad that they may be fading away. I love what Yvonne suggested though, and it's something that I've been practicing for a long time. It's a part of my practice for maintaining touch points with people. When I connect with somebody on LinkedIn, I also connect with them on Facebook. So I look for the social media where they're most active. Um, And then I set into my schedule times when I'm going to keep checking back and seeing what they're posting that day, see what's going on. I click the follow button so that hopefully I'm going to see a lot of their posts. But then I also go and I actually go and check and see, what did you post today, or what's your most recent post that you posted? And then I put a comment with that post. I'm engaging with those posts, showing people that I'm interested in what they're doing and what's going on. Um, I love what Mary said as well, because I was just like her when I first got here. I was afraid to say anything, and you all supported me. John, I remember so fondly. One of the reasons I keep coming back to this group is because I remember so fondly immediately after I got off the call feeling kind of silly because I had cried, because the first call was something that was kind of emotional and very touching to my heart. But you phoned me. You phoned me, and I got a phone call within like 5 minutes after I got off the call. And what it did for me was it made me feel accepted and part of, and I've valued those friendships and the connections ever since that time because of the fact that you reached out to me. And so I make it a point when there's new people, when I see new people here, I want to reach out to them and connect with them and let them know that they're valued. And one of the other ways that I show people that they're valued is through key referral partnerships. So what I listen for is who do you serve? And I book one-to-ones with almost everybody. That's another way that for me, that's a way that I help people. I book one-to-ones with them. I find out who do you serve and who else do you think serves those people? Because then those are the people I can refer you to because they should know your ideal client and be able to refer you to more clients. So I really like the key referral policy better than just giving you one client saying, oh, I know one person who needs your service. Let me refer you to them. I'm referring you to somebody who may know 50 people who need your service. So thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Also, because you missed the intro, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thank you again. I am the Biz Leads expert at Biz Leads Expert. I teach busy entrepreneurs how to generate more qualified leads for their business through referral marketing, through introductions, warm referrals, getting in front of the qualified people that you want to help and that want your help so that when you get on a call with somebody, you know that they already want your services. They're not just tire kickers.
Excellent. Thanks, Brenda. You brought up a lot of really great points. Reach out to people. Let them know that they're valued and they're part of it. So thank you very much. Tina?
So, unlike Brenda, I actually liked the pod that I was in on LinkedIn. And the reason for it is because I was in with people whom I would have never gone out and connected with because they were doing more stuff like even what we're doing in here. So first, I didn't want to connect with people that were in those spaces. And I have learned so much by reading their posts. And so for me, that's a good thing. And so one of the other things that Brenda connected with there is that she doesn't agree with some of the posts that are there. And how do you talk to them? Well, I talk with people every day. I have to be open to their spiritual or their religious background and agree with them. So I find the places inside there that I do agree with. And that's where, because I already know those spaces. So then I'm able to work with that. I also just the other day ended up with somebody on a call who neither one of us would ever have a political conversation, but she apparently just got off the phone with somebody who totally disagreed with her and she wasn't in a good mind space. And so I let her vent. Did I agree with that? I didn't agree with it, but she needed somebody there to sit with her. So I've learned if I sit with people and help them understand where they're coming from, that helps me as well. So I work with that. And then I have these haters that come on my post. Here just recently, I had one that came on and basically said on TikTok that I really didn't know what I was talking about for their state. So instead of trying to make her wrong, I said, you're very right. Your state does this. My post is referring to this. And I went and explained a little bit. And then I said, but thank you very much for your input. And when I do that with haters, it's interesting because they come on, like my post, friend me, and then they go through and make comments later on through everything because I've allowed them to be heard. And so those are some of the things that I do. And now I'm going to kind of shift wheels and talk about LBR, which is where Mark sits. And he created this. And one of the things that we're trying to do to help people is our members. And I'm just getting it together, trying to figure out how to use the music with my Zoom. But we're going to do little tiny clips on the Facebook page that is open to the public. That's little tiny interviews, just about a 10-15 minute interview, so that we can help all the members. And just like Brenda was saying, I go out and I find these people. Hopefully I'm finding enough of you. Sometimes I can't. I realize, like hunting for Yvonne right now, I can't find you. So I have my link in for LinkedIn in here. So if you guys could go find me so that I can pay attention, because that's super important. Another thing is that when we go through and we're liking the posts and we're writing on them, ask a question, because that question could be something you want to know. but it also gets them to answer the question, and then they get more engagement on that post. So if you find something there that you could create a question out of, it also helps. So sorry I was long-winded.
Well, you brought up a very valid point there, Tina. It's asking questions, because rather than just making a statement, when you ask a question, you take the time to really listen to what the person says. You learn a lot more by listening than you do talking. So the 80-20 rule comes into effect. Let them do 80% of the talking and you do 20. Vangelis, followed by Kavi.
Yeah, I have really enjoyed meeting many of you. In fact, I just had a meeting with Brenda.
Can you speak up a bit,
and Kavi.
Vangelis?
Oh, you can't hear me.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know about other people.
Just a minute. Okay. Better?
Better.
All right. Had a great conversation with Brenda and with Kavi in the last couple of weeks. And I take notes when I speak with people, because it's memorable information, and I still some of the things that when I met with George, I still use some of the things that he said, because everything that people say, I realize, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And it helps you to really key more into what people are really all about and how they look at things, their perspectives, and the way that they speak about what they do and how they see the world and how they see themselves. And I mean, I've met with Peter, I've met with Glenda, and it's just been really a wonderful time just to speak. And when I am speaking, I'm sharing my intimate thoughts and ideas, and people do the same thing. And it helps you to really open up, and we say get to know people, but really it helps me to change the way that I thought about stuff. And that way I can see what other people are doing, and then I can also change the way that I have thought about stuff. So those are the things that I keep in mind when I have meetings and speak with people, and listening to people here is the same thing. Someone will say something that I hadn't thought about, and I'll make note of it, and then I'll use that in my thought as well. Thanks.
Vangelis is an incredible person to chat with. I've had that privilege as well. So for any of you that haven't had it, take the time, reach out to him. You'll be glad you did. Kavi?
Thank you, Vangelis, and thank you, John, and everyone else. I've loved the shares that I've heard. So the one that comes to mind, I think that's many people can overlook this, because building friendships in business is the same as personal lives, but I feel that people get so attached to the outcome of their money or their wallet. But I've always recommended myself and other people just to live in the moment and just enjoy the call, enjoy getting to know them, generally get to know them on a personal level and their business. And when I say their business, I'm going to be asking questions. What got them into the business they're doing? Who is their target audience? I want to get to the details of learning a bit more. And so I know who where the community is, because I usually know everyone, their moms for everything these days. Even people in Vietnam, they'll ask me like if I know a good cleaning lady. I was like, yeah, I know one, because I hire her every 2 weeks. So like being able to ask genuinely good questions to get to know them, and people love to talk about themselves. And they're gonna reciprocate asking me the questions, and they're gonna help me. They're gonna get to know my business on a deeper level too. Just the details, human level, business level, and people like to make business friendships with one another at the same time. Another one I will even touch on is on the nurturing part. I always recommend we all have each other's numbers in the group. Text them, text the people, because you never know what people are going through in their lives. Running a business is not the easiest thing. It's one of the challenging things that we all have to go through. And it can be lonely. Even though we're in community, it can still feel lonely at times in our minds. So reach out to people. I just went to Bangkok, Thailand just recently, and I learned that my friend, he was getting to the point of burnout, and I reconnected with him. So he just loved the experience of us getting to reconnect in person. So the 2 points I'll summarize is generally get to know people on a human level and a business levels and get to the details. And number two, nurture the relationship because you never know what people are going through in their lives. I'll pass.
Thanks, Kavi. You brought up a very important point. Get to know people. Get to know people. Don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel understood. So learn to talk to that person. Find out what their real issues are. Everything else. Thanks, Kavi. George, followed by Mark.
Sorry, guys. I have two mute buttons, one on my boom and on Zoom. So here I am. Everybody's brought up some amazing ideas on how we can help each other's businesses. And I was thinking to myself as I'm listening to everyone, it's like, what else can we do? Because these are things, that, I'm not going to say how would I say that? There has to be one other way. And I truly believe a lot like what Kavi was saying. I've met with Gabby, Vangelis, Peter, Tina, Mark before. I haven't met with Brenda, but I do want to mention to Alan that your link doesn't work for your booking a call with you.
Okay, thanks.
Came up blank. I would love to connect with everybody, and just see who you are. I'm hoping that we can all become friends. I think that's where it starts. It all starts with friendship. Do I like this person? Do I like what they're doing? Do I want to help that person? And we're sharing this group weekly, and it's like Peter bringing everybody together. It's about the community, and what is it? How can we do that? And just having these conversations on how can we help each other's business is a great help, because it does bring it back to the forefront of our mind of why we're doing this. We're all here to help in some way, whichever way that is, respectively, for each of our own professions. And this group is amazing. There's so many talented people I've met here, and again, I was trying to do some connections there, but I don't see anything on LinkedIn. So if everybody wants, just connect with me and let's hop on a call. I'd love to get to know you.
You brought up a really great point there, George. When you're there to serve, you attract people. When you're there just to sell, you repel. So people don't want to be sold. They love to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So the whole concept is to reach out to these people to see how you can be of service to them, not just to try and sell them. Mark, over to you.
Thank you. I just wanted to give a short example on LinkedIn. I had a request to connect to this one gentleman. He said because mine was the only post all day long that didn't look like I was trying to sell him something, and I was trying to help people. And that's why he connected to me. But I get more than half of my business from referrals, so it's getting to know people and help it grow. But one of the things I think that you need to do is listen to one of your conversations with somebody, see how you come across, and make sure when people research you, because they give you a referral, they research you, make sure your profiles, make sure your website doesn't just totally confuse them and say a different message. So you want to try to be as consistent of the person that you want to be as possible.
Excellent. One of the things, and I just read this article this morning, you brought up a great point, Mark, is be human. Don't try to be this extraordinary person that's the greatest, grandest, most wonderful thing that everybody pushes for today. It takes a lot of courage to just be yourself. Just be a real person. You're not trying to be some fancy guru and all the rest of the crap out there. People want to know that they could trust you. They want to feel like they're dealing with a real person. And if you're coming across wearing this mask of you're the greatest, grandest, most wonderful thing going, you're going to turn more people off than you are going to bring them in. So thanks very much for sharing that, Mark. That's great. Gab?
Yeah, I totally agree with Mark. And as somebody who does like a lot of digital branding, I think it's important that you have a cohesive message across the board with everything that you do. Um, but I think the biggest thing to me, I think, is listening to learn and not to respond. So I think that a lot of times, so like as somebody who has ADHD, I want to like respond and like help somebody and like save things. But sometimes we do ourselves injustice and the other person injustice by trying too hard to respond to a situation if somebody gives it to us. So like if somebody comes to you and they need like space held, it's just good to be a keen listener and know that, if you counsel in love, it will come with basically like hearing what they say, not trying to get your own point across. Because sometimes people have other thoughts and other opinions that are differing from our own. So I think that the best way to help somebody is to be able to listen keenly to them and put your own thoughts aside and actually learn what is going on with them and then respond after the fact. But also, I think also respecting keeping a business and personal relationship separate. So like for me, I used to like give a lot of free services to every single person. You know this, John. And I had to learn. I learned that if you really value somebody else and if somebody values you, you would be willing to like basically compensate one another, but in a respectful way and keep personal with personal and business with business. Because sometimes it can do an injustice when you don't actually like do that. So those are two things that I've kind of learned. So yeah.
Thanks, Gab. You brought up some very valuable points. You know, a lot of us tend to give away a ton of stuff. When you stop and think about it, you could tell somebody the what to do. You leave out the how to do it because that's your magic sauce. That's what gets you, that's why they're going to hire you. There's a ton of people out there. Yes, I believe in giving. You have to give to get. But, you don't have to give away the farm because when you try to prove what an expert you are and hoping people hire you, that's when you sound like everybody else. So again, people want to feel that they're understood. You brought up some good points, Cap. You have to ask good questions. So, thanks for that. And I'll just briefly share who I am and what I do and my thoughts on giving. I'm John D. Allen, Allen Small Business Coaching. Basically, I'm a fixer. I go in and I can see where a lot of businesses they're having problems in different strategies or techniques they're using and show people how to fix them. Like I said, I've been guilty of giving away a ton of stuff. How do I believe we can help more people? By being honest. If you don't know how to help them or you can't answer the question, tell them that. Say, that's a great question. I don't know, but I can find out for you. Another great thing is, and it's been brought up, if somebody's talking to you about a problem, the whole concept is to go deeper, peel back the layers of the onion, go down the iceberg, whatever you want to call it. You could do that by simply saying, tell me more. That's interesting. How has that affected your life up till now? What would it be like if you fixed it? You didn't have that problem anymore. When you ask questions that allow you to go deeper, that person says, wow, Tina really understands me. Mark gets me. George is phenomenal. Kavi knows what he's doing. Vangelis, he understands me. Alan, Brenda, Gab, Mary, they all get me. So it's making that person feel understood. It's been brought up how you respond to people. Peter and I were on a call one day, and I'm learning how to be far more diplomatic. This particular gentleman was on this call, and he was telling us how great, grand, and wonderful he was. Me and my big mouth was, I told him he was full of shit. Pardon my English. And it upset this gentleman to no end because he'd never had virtually anybody talk to him like this. But that was me and how I was dealing with things a while back. Do I still do that sometimes? Yes. Am I getting better at correcting that? I sure hope so. But again, you have to make people feel understood, and don't do it the way that the example I just gave there, because that definitely doesn't win you friends or influence people. So, there's a lot of great ways you can do it. So I thank everybody, and we still got a few minutes left. Would anybody like to add anything before we wrap up this call? Peter, anything? I know you've been really quiet and you're having a hard time talking. Nope, no problem. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Look forward to seeing you next week. It'll be call number 250. That's quite a milestone. Been on these calls when we reached 100, 150, 200, and now 250. Peter, this is an amazing group. Thanks for sharing. And don't
John,
forget to go ahead.
sorry to interrupt you, but Mark wants to say something.
I just had I'm building a AI webinar from the programmer's point of view on how AI works. So anybody that would like to have input on it, I would appreciate.
Put the link in the chat, Mark.
I just put my email in there, but I'll put it in again.
No, don't forget to save the chat. Go to the 3 dots beside chat, save the chat, and go from there. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Again, Mark's doing an incredible job with that group he's putting together for people all over North America. He's got a great program to really help small businesses learn about their marketing. If you're not sure about how to marketing, he's got a great done for you program, or you can do it yourself. So thanks very much, everybody. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.